Hello everyone, myself Dr. Taruna Bansal, Assistant Professor at the Department of Geography, Jamia Millia Islamia, would like to put forward a proposal for the paper entitled Evolution of Geographical Thought. We all know that geography as a discipline has established itself as an independent field over time. The roots of this geographical scholarship reached back to classical antiquity when Oriental civilizations were flourishing, and the initiation of this discipline dates back to the times of Eratosthenes, who coined the term geography. For him, geography meant description of the earth, but for him, geography is the study of earth as the home of man. In the words of Strabo, geography, in addition to its vast importance to social life and the art of government, acquaints us with the occupants of the land and ocean and the vegetation, fruits and peculiarities of the various quarters of the earth, knowledge of which marks him who cultivates it as a man earnest in the great problem of life and happiness. Kant, was a step ahead of what Greeks and Romans were talking about. It was only in the middle of the 19th century, rather the latter part of the 19th century, that geography established itself as a modern science. And that is why the second half of this century is usually known as classical Humboldt-Rhetarian period, which further laid the base of the discipline and stimulated its growth within the philosophical scholarship. Now, as a student of geography, we should know what is the nature of geography as it was conceived by scholars in the pre-classical period, which is by Greeks, by Romans, by Arabs, by Varenius, Kant, and in the classical period where we basically deal with Humboldt and Ritter, as well as in the post-classical period. So the paper on evolution of geographical thought becomes a necessity for the student of geography to read, because this will tell us how the world has been perceived by a geographer over time. And it is very interesting to know that over the time the world has been known to man as nothing but as his own home. So when we peep into our past, we come to know that what we have is nothing new, but we have inherited it from our past. Several paradigms and theories have been built, which have built the structure on which geography is standing today. Among these, one of the most central themes has been man-environment relationship. In other words, relationship which exists between different groups of man and the particular character of the natural environment. Over time, only the perspective has changed, but the focus has always been on the intricate interlacing of relationships that exist between different phenomena that are found on the surface of the earth. Now, this was expressed even by Kant, and again, Herodotus also justifies this when he says that geography must be treated historically and all history must be treated geographically. So we have to see where our roots are, and but here we have to be cautious, as Hartshorne says, that geography should not be made handmaid of history, but rather the two should be seen as sister subjects. Now, similar statements of comparison between geography and history are even found in Ritter as well as in the works of Humboldt, both regarded as the father of, or the founding fathers of, modern geography. So what we do in this particular paper is that we all know that earth has heterogeneous character, and geography as a discipline recognizes this character through a systematic study which should focus on one particular category of objects, not in the sense to be restricted to the objects of that category, but we should consider that object, or rather those objects, in their relationship to other geographic phenomena. But when we see the entire the debate till Ritter, we see that what exactly should be the scope of geography has not been dealt upon, whether man should be included as part of the nature or not. So somewhere And when we see in the early 20th century, the unification of field of geography is not there. Now, but when we come to the later part of the 19th century or earlier 20th century, when science was marked by increasing specialization, we see that even in geography, scientific laws were started to develop. And this was basically when geography was seen as chorological science, that is a science which studies the areal differentiation of the world. The pioneer in this field was Richard Hartshorne. Now after Hartshorne we see various methods have been adopted, criticized, left over, and again new experiments were done. So till today number of methodologies have been adopted and done to bring what is geography today. So this paper main objective is to put forward the history of evolution of geography as a discipline. Thank you.